So I think, and I know Matt and Squid, and Jason, I'm not including you because you'll know why in just a second. I think we might owe Jason an apology.
You think?
Oh, boy.
I've been telling you guys that for years.
You don't even know why. You don't even know why.
He'll take any of them at this point.
Well, apparently we have been wrongly accusing Jason of being a narcissist.
Okay.
Wow.
This is
You sure
backhanded
about
right there.
I'm not sure about it. But it's not why you think we owe an apology. It's not because you're not a narcissist, Jason. It's just that we should be calling you something else.
I'm pretty sure it's a narcissist.
So we're sorry.
Even you're sure? You're sure that it's
Yeah,
oh.
I definitely think I have some narcissist tendencies.
Well,
I mean,
there.
my wife tells me every day.
Yeah. And we
You
tell
guys
you.
tell me.
Yes. You do definitely have the characteristics of a narcissist. But
Thank you, Kate.
the thing is that there are, it's like what they're calling therapy speak terms that we are all using incorrectly. And narcissist is number one.
Therapy speak.
Therapy speak, yes. So when we call you a narcissist, Jason, yes, it's not because you're not one. I mean, I don't know how to say this nicely. Do I have to
You're
sugarcoat
one.
this for you? You are definitely one. It's somebody who is assertive and confident, but someone who is often disliked.
Thank you,
Okay.
Katie.
Oh.
Okay.
That is the definition.
I didn't know it was
one of the definitions.
dislikable.
That's,
Jason.
I think that's the part we're off.
Dislikable.
Dislikable.
We like you though.
Yeah.
We do. But what we should be calling you is someone who has narcissistic personality disorder. That's where we've been going wrong.
It's
so
a disorder.
It's evolving. Basically, it's just what happened. It's, first you say you're on the spectrum. Now you say you're mentally challenged. Actually, I don't even know what you say now.
Well, I think being on the spectrum is relatively new as opposed to having like, a disability or something like that. But on the spectrum, because it's now being it's obviously being studied, but people are understanding autism a lot, and that it's a very spectral
that's
disorder.
It. You're not supposed to say you're autistic.
Correct.
What are you supposed to say?
You're supposed to say
you have autistic tendencies.
yes, someone has autism. So I worked with at the ABC of NC in Winston-Salem, which is a school for children with autism, for about a year and a half when I first moved to Winston. So gosh, like 19 years ago. However, that's when I learned that you don't say, oh, they've got autism, whatever. It's someone with autism, and it's a spectral thing. And
But you
so,
can say on the spectrum too, right?
yeah, I think so. As long as the person that you're speaking about is comfortable with that as
Squid.
well.
So,
Yeah.
what?
I'm speaking about Squid.
I
Is he
don't.
comfortable?
No.
If you ask Josie says Josie is very adamant that we all are a little bit on the spectrum. And a
Yes.
part of me does agree with that a little bit, but also not really, because I think that we all have different ways of making our brain works in different ways. That's all.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that everybody is. However, that is how you would say it.
Well, if you think about it too, over time, if these sayings and descriptions have evolved into something else, and they have become more offensive. I guarantee, because even with you can't say somebody has autism now is more offensive, right? And back, I don't know how many years ago that wasn't offensive.
No, you can say they have. See, the whole idea behind that terminology is that you are not defined by your disability. Does that make sense?
No, I get it, but you have to be careful how you say certain things. I mean, originally it would be that 100 years ago they said, "Oh, that person's stupid."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then the R word.
Yep.
And honestly, the R word was so common that even in the foundation of mentally challenged, is that not?
Right, just say, yep.
In the foundation, that's part of the word. It's called ARC now, but that word is still in the name, and it was a foundation for it. But then there was so many negative connotations where people used it in negative ways and to make fun of people. So that's evolved into other things, and that's where I think a lot of times that can come from is when we think about it, we see things differently. Then we evolve in the wording and how we describe certain things.
I wanted to listen to what you said, but when you said connotones, I checked out.
Connotation and undertone in the
What
one
did I
word.
say?
Connotation.
You're being more efficient.
Yeah. It's,
I said what?
Connotation
Connotations.
instead of connotation or undertone.
Conotone sounds like the name of like a like a
Musical instrument?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a
It sounds like
group of a cappella singers.
To me, it sounds
I
like
don't
a
remember
cleaning,
saying
a
any of
cleaning
this, but
detergent, Conatone.
Yeah, the Conotones.
You spray on, spray off, Conatone.
Come,
Well, you
come
know
see
what?
our show tonight at the Coliseum.
It is
Conotones.
a more efficient way of speaking, so
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to go that way.
I checked
like that,
out because
but-
I was like, what 2 words is he combining?
And I think it was
Oh,
connotation and undertone.
An undertone.
Conotone.
Yeah,
Conotone.
the conotone. Anyway, Jason, yes, I think what you were saying is on. I'm not 100% sure.
Jason is on the side.
We
I'm
went.
sorry.
We went a little bit deeper than I think I meant to go. But my point is, we've been calling you a narcissist, and we should just be saying that you are someone who has narcissistic personality disorder.
Yes, you said that
Or
earlier.
could we say someone has Jason has narcissism?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Is
that could.
narcissistic tendencies.
Although,
Okay.
Jason, you are pretty defined by your narcissism. I
Mhm.
mean, that
you,
runs
Katie.
deep. Well, I mean, this isn't anything you don't already know.
Well, I don't
You
know.
own it.
But
yeah.
I still argue that Jared's more of a narcissist or maybe a douchicist. I don't know.
a douchicist.
Now, that one I can get behind.
Yes.
A word you've made
I
up.
like that.
That one I like.
We know what it means, so.
He's not a douche. He just has douchistic personality traits.
A douchist personality disorder. He's living with douchism.
He's a survivor.
Living with douches.
So brave.
Hey, I wonder.
Don't call him a douche. That's expensive.
No.
I mean, offensive. Call him somebody living with a condition known as douchism.
Douchism.
Hey, if I'm somebody who is against a douche, I could say I'm a douchist.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're a douchist.
Douchist. Yes. A douchist.
All right. Just wondering how to proceed. So there are other, and it's not just for Jason when we call him a narcissist that we should be saying he has narcissistic personality disorder. There are a couple other terms. If you've been going to therapy, I'm sure that you have heard these words, or even if you've just, I don't know, like been on the internet, you hear these words all the time. Somebody who will say, oh, I have so much trauma.
Oh yeah.
It's trauma can lead to long-lasting emotional, psychological, and physical effects. And I think that the term trauma gets thrown around with too much ease.
Well, maybe it's
Yeah.
drama then.
I think it's drama. I think it's drama, or I think it's like, oh, I've had a traumatic experience in the sense of it was uncomfortable for a little bit, or we say it for affectation. You know, it's because we want to be extra. We want to make
Yeah.
it the most exaggerated that it can be. But really, somebody who is suffering from trauma, it has long-lasting effects on their life, and that's why
Yeah.
they're seeking therapy.
Yeah, like when people say trauma dump, it's normally a little exaggerated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think making light of that, it's like a therapist will say, no, you don't actually.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually have any trauma. You're just kind of working things out, you know? There are other terms. We're calling them therapy speak terms that are being.
I call them. You have to be more PC.
Well, but I think I don't think it's PC. I think that it's we're actually more people are going to see a therapist, and we're learning about ourselves and why we do things. I don't think that's a bad
I
thing.
know. I just think that there's so many like rules of now how to say things that I can't keep up with all of them. Why can't you just say, that guy's just really messed up in the head. He's going to see a therapist.
Well, I guess you could. I guess that's what I
Yeah.
would say about my own self.
Yeah.
You know,
me
like,
too.
hey, look, I got to work some things out.
Yeah, I got some demons. I
You
need
know,
help with.
yes, and
Yeah.
and nothing wrong with it. It's so much more acceptable these days than it ever has been before, which is
Yeah.
great, I think. Other misusing therapy speak terms, or terms that we're misusing, boundaries. Now, this one's hard because I have never in my life set a boundary with anybody or anything. And so if typically you get really angry when you feel like somebody's taking advantage of you, or you're constantly doing things for other people and not taking time for yourself. And you're like, man, I can't say no. You have to learn to set the boundary.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard when you've never set one before. And then all of a sudden you go around setting them because
Oh yeah.
yes, because then you're
Yeah.
like, you don't get
Well, I
to
have a
set that
hard
with me.
time dealing with that too, because I feel as like setting a boundary is just different in every single scenario and situation. Where you might say like, you know what, I'm no longer going to be doing these types of things, but then there's a situation that kind of comes up where like, okay, well that's a little different, or this is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the way that it's being, I totally get what you're saying. The way that it's being misused, guys, is that people are setting boundaries to control other people's behavior, and that's not setting a boundary.
That's a problem.
That's
being manipulative.
Mhm.
Manipulative.
Jason.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't. It's a combination of manipulation and narcissism that I'm a part of. But narcissism is very difficult for me to totally understand. I get some of what it is, but I'm like, I don't understand the whole thing. Like, I know there's certain characteristics of narcissist that I probably a lot of people are associated with this, but I don't understand. Like, it's easy to say when somebody's manipulative. I know what that is. Being narcissist is like, I don't get the whole word 100%. I just take your word for it.
Can somebody
Actually, yeah.
Well, you have also defended it. When we've questioned it before, you're like, no, I am the narcissist.
When you list certain characteristics of it, then I'm like, yeah, that's me. And then other ones like, oh, no, not so much. You know, so I don't know what the qualification of a narcissist is.
Well, maybe Squid can Google. And I will say the way it's being misused is that it's become a catch-all for people that we just don't like.
Yeah.
We don't like their personality, or we don't mesh with their personality. And we're like, they're a narcissist. When really they're not. We just don't mesh.
Okay, so
well, that's not cool either.
No, but according to Google, it says narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition in which people have unreasonably high sense of their own importance. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about others' feelings.
Okay, see, I have half of that.
Right.
Yeah.
What part don't you have?
The first part's Josie.
What? Don't bring her into this. She's not even in the country.
It would be because the attention, the exaggeration, the stories, the loudness.
I think that's just radio.
Seek attention and want people to admire them. Jared.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, a narcissist is when somebody posts on social media, happy birthday to this guy, which was Jared, and pretends it wasn't him, and then comments under, thank you guys, as Jared. That might be a narcissist.
And then liked it as another Jared page.
Yes. So that's not me. I don't do that.
Your part is the lack of ability to understand or care about others or their feelings.
Probably.
Yes, 100%. I don't know if I've ever thought of that, like Jared going on social media and liking things as other pages. I don't know that I ever thought of that as narcissism. I just thought he was incredibly unwell.
No, because
You know?
if you think about it, he literally went on our Facebook page, and I think Instagram too, and posted a picture of himself, like one of us did it, and said, happy birthday to this guy. And then waited for other people, our listeners, to like, hey, happy birthday, Jeff, so we could get that, which means self-importance, which is one of the characteristics
Or
of this.
desperate.
And, you know, I think he's a little entitled at the time, but then he also, like Matt just said, put a comment, thank you, everybody, and then like the comment of somebody. I mean, it's like a nonstop thing. So to me, it says, can only be around people who, I mean, that's arrogant. That's definitely must be admired. That's 2. Sense of self-importance. That's 3. Jared is definitely narcissistic. Maybe not as much as me, but pretty close.
Maybe not as much as me.
I would never do that.
Yeah. If I had known that we were going to spend this time diagnosing Jared, I would have probably picked a different way to approach it.
Why? He's not here. It's
I know.
It's however we naturally get into it, you know?
You're right about that.
Yeah.
It's not forced. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not forced. It's humble.
Yeah, humble. Hashtag humble.
Very humble way of going about it.
Hashtag humble. And then finally, another therapy speak is what we're calling it. These are words that you're probably hearing a lot of. Whether you are currently in therapy or not, they're definitely terms that we're hearing. We're hearing everywhere. Validation. Apparently, we're using validation wrong. And according to therapists validate clients' feelings by making it clear they understand and accept that client is feeling a certain way. There are some people who will go to therapy, and instead of realizing that it is about themselves, they go into therapy thinking, I'm going to go in and this therapist is going to tell me that everything I'm feeling is because this person is X, Y, and Z that's causing drama in their life.
You're going to
So they say
therapy to get people on your side.
Correct.
That's
And-
not why you should go to therapy.
And that's not why that's not how therapists operate at all. And but then they'll come out, and I feel like maybe I've heard this from a couple people, maybe.
Someone we know on the show.
Maybe. Or just from just other, and people in my personal life
Mhm.
will also say, "Oh, I went to therapy, and they were like, this person is this, and so I'm like, well, but what about you?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
about what's going on with you? What kind of work are
You're
you
talking
doing?"
about Jared again, and another thought. That's more of a narcissist thing. And I will tell you this: every time I've gone to therapy, 99% of the time they don't ever point that it's the other person. It's all about how you're doing it and your responsibility of how you take things.
Yep.
And it's not the other person making you do this. It's not. Now there might be bad circumstances, but you know what I'm saying?
Sure, but it is about, like, unless you're going to couples therapy, and even that, it's not about validating why one person or how one person feels, or it's against this person, or this person's in the wrong. It is about, you can vent and you can get it all out, and your therapist hears you, but then it's how to work on yourself to make that a better situation.
I will say this, Katie.
Yeah.
After looking at the special me, that's what you're supposed to remember. Those are the 9 signs and characteristics of being a narcissist.
Special me.
Is that
Yes.
an acronym?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
The number 2, definitely for me,
Okay.
100%. It says preoccupied with power or success.
can we get a ding?
Yeah, that's 100% you.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I don't think. I really think Jared has a couple more on these than me. I really do. I
Okay.
really do.
Which ones?
Okay, well, sure.
I think. We're both like this, but I think he's envious of others.
Mm-hmm.
Must be admired.
Mm.
Obviously, I don't care anymore. Half the people in the population in the world think I'm a jerk.
Clearly.
I do have, believe it or not, maybe I don't come out with it. I do have empathy for people, for sure, without a
L
doubt.
for lack of empathy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely do for that.
I do
I'm not
see
in the
it.
not in the
Yeah.
daily necessarily grind all the time, but
Mhm.
certainly other things I definitely do.
Oh yeah, not in like the light where everyone can see, just
No.
behind
Right.
closed doors.
Yeah.
This is definitely me.
And he'll deny it if you ever call it out.
Oh,
He'll
yeah,
deny
yeah.
it straight up.
Yes.
Mhm.
This is definitely me. Interpersonally exploitive for their own gain. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah, no argument from the crowd.
Jason, you do realize that this is not something to be proud of, right?
No, I know that. I'm just
Okay.
being honest.
Just checking.
And then can only be around people who are important or special. I hang out with Squid a lot.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, though, that you're hanging out with Squid because there's something, I don't know what, but there's something that he's giving to you that you feel like you need.
I don't
I
know.
think
There's gotta
another
be-
breath of life, another chance
You're
of life.
you're getting something from that relationship.
Absolutely.
Well,
And
I mean,
think
aren't
when
we
you-
all getting something from everybody's relationship? That's the
You
whole
should
point.
be. If not, then it's a bad friendship, and you should get out of that
Yes.
situation.
Right,
It
so
should
we're
be
all
a two-way
getting-
street.
We're all getting something.
I mean, you told me to get VR goggles, so the next time I do it, you can feel like you're there. You know,
Yeah.
To
so
get
it's like,
what?
I mean,
To
Well,
get what?
the
The-
VR virtual, like the
oh,
VR
VR
goggles.
VR.
Yeah,
I didn't hear it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
What is exactly, like, if Jason is getting youth and spunk out of the relationship with you, Squid, what
Yeah.
exactly are you getting out of the relationship with Jason?
Beers.
Roth IRA advice.
Oh.
Thank you, Squid.
No. Me and Jason cut up. Well, I mean, we have
We laugh.
we
hard.
laugh. We laugh a lot.
okay.
There's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we're in different decades of ages, there's things that
in
he
classes,
said that is
wealth class. Yeah.
That's true.
And social status.
Social
Yeah.
status, yes. Uh-huh.
There are things that he says that I laugh and laugh and laugh, and I think vice versa. I mean,
Yeah.
we make a scene we're laughing so hard, especially
do.
after a beer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or 6.
That is
And-
one thing about Jason for sure is Jason loves to experience things outside of his normal experience.
100%.
And that's
Yes.
100% what Squid
Biker
gives.
bars, the danger
Yes.
of Cancun,
Oh, yeah.
Squid's
Yes.
life. Yeah.
You want to go to an all-inclusive resort, not Jason. He wants to go in the streets.
Yeah.
But then wants to return to the confines of safety.
Yes,
100%.
After the fact.
Mm-hmm.
He wants, yeah.
Yeah, I need to have a safety, knowing I could go
That's
take
fair.
the risk, but then I can go back to safety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Could never travel abroad because, like, don't have the confines of an all inclusive. But
Well, I could do that. I don't mind that at all. I would love to do that more.
I would too. Who wouldn't?
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't? All right. Well, I don't know if this was helpful or not. I feel like we've really diagnosed Jared, and he didn't even ask for it. But then it's like he attended a therapy session, but he wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we had his therapy session without him.
Yeah. If he was here, he would have yelled all the time.
Good news. We can send him the audio.
Got it.
And say, listen to this on your own time.
I do want one last thing. I think we're both, and me and Jared both feel entitled, but boy, he feels entitled like when he goes into a restaurant, it should be free, or what's the. Honestly.
I I just
am
don't.
too,
Yeah, I
but
don't
he does,
understand
like,
that part.
He feels. I mean, he is so entitled that he almost. I think he's almost at the point now where he feels that somebody else should go to the bathroom for him.
I don't know if that's just lazy or if it's entitlement. I don't know. That's just lazy.
Yeah, there's a line.
Yeah.
Is he listening?
I don't know.
He hasn't
would've got
called
a
yet.
text by
I'm
now.
not sure. But
He's
I,
too
definitely
lazy to
getting
dial
blown
the
up.
number.
That's true.
I do know for a fact that he feels that he should never have to walk anywhere.
Yes.
Like somebody should be carrying him at all times. And he
Yes.
said that himself.
Mm-hmm.
So, take that for what it's worth.